Hello, I'm Anna Davis from Moving with the Moon and Bliss Baby Yoga. Pawanmuktasana is a classical yoga sequence that lubricates and frees up the major joints in the body. Today I would like to share with you my own variation of this classical sequence. I've been practicing this sequence now for over 20 years, and I find the benefits to be quite profound. It might seem at first glance that it's quite a simple practice, but it has very deep, profound effects on the body and the mind. Not only does it release stiffness in the body, but also it works on an energetic level, as it moves prana, the energy, the life force around the body. It can be used as a simple, gentle warm-up sequence, and then you can move on to larger, stronger postures, or it can be a self-contained practice of itself. I like to do it when I'm traveling as a jet lag sequence, so that when I arrive in a new country, it helps me ground. So it's a very grounding, floor-based sequence. It's very good for relieving anxiety and when we're feeling ungrounded or anxious. This sequence that I would like to share with you today integrates what I call some of the classical women's postures to help balance our menstrual cycle, promote our fertility, and help us with the challenges of perimenopause. I invite you to approach this sequence like a moving meditation, and to keep your mind very present in each simple movement as we feel the sensations and we feel the breath gently synchronizing with the movements. In this way, you will experience the profound benefits of this simple practice. I hope you enjoy it. Namaste. Begin in Dandasana with the legs extended in front of you, hands behind you and slightly to the side, to open up the chest and create lift through the spine. You can have a folded blanket or a cushion underneath the hips if that's more comfortable for you and supports you to sit more upright. Just start by taking some deeper breaths down into the belly. Then we'll begin by mobilizing the toes, just scrunching the toes forward and backwards. Mindfully beginning to move the energy from the bottom of the body, from the base of the body, as we move the toes. Now we'll begin to move the ankles, pointing and flexing. We might coordinate this with the breath. You might exhale as you point, inhale as you flex. It doesn't really matter, just getting the breath and the movement to begin to flow. Pointing, exhaling, inhaling, flexing. Whatever is a comfortable rhythm for you. Freeing up energy in the ankle joints. Now we'll circle the ankles, slow, mindful circles as we increase the range of movement through both ankles. And circling the other way. Now we'll prepare to mobilize into the knee joint. Bend up the right knee and draw the knee into the chest. And then extend the legs, supporting the hands behind the thigh. As you exhale, draw the knee in. As you inhale, extend, pushing away through the heel, gently synchronizing breath and movement. Keeping the spine lifted, chest open, gently engaging the core to support your posture here. Now we'll circle the shin like we're tracing a circle in the air with our big toe, continuing to lubricate into the right knee joint. And circling the opposite direction. Now we're working into the hip. I call this one stirring the pot. We're going to circle the right heel as if the heel was a spoon, stirring a large pot. So that essentially what we're doing is circling the head of the right thigh bone, the femur, in the hip socket. Let's go the other way. Nice big circles, being gentle with the knee. Letting the breath remain free and gentle and natural here. Belly soft. And now we'll stretch into the hip joint. Rock the baby position. Bring the foot in line with the knee. Dorsiflex that right foot. And if you can, you cup the foot and the knee into the elbows, into the crooks of the elbows. And then we gently rock from side to side, loosening deep into the right buttock and hip area. Just little baby movements from side to side. And now circling movements, continuing to loosen into that right hip. Lubricate the right hip joint. And then the other way. And stretching for a moment. And then gently releasing that leg and extending the leg out in front of you. Resting for a few moments. Just checking in with yourself. How do you feel through the right side of the body, right hip, right leg compared to the left side? So let's balance it out now and work on the left side. We'll draw the left knee in and then we'll extend the leg. Exhale, drawing it in. Inhaling, extending, pushing the heel away from you to really wake up the back of that left leg now. Along the hamstring muscles, along the channels, the bladder meridian, along the back of the left leg. Squeezing the knee in, which has a digestive effect on the belly, on the abdominal muscles. Now we'll circle the foot, lubricating into the knee joint even further. Nice smooth circles, and then in the opposite direction. And now we'll circle into the hip, stirring the pot movement. This is a nice one to work with a falling out breath if it feels good for you, where you might let the breath fall out of an open mouth. Loose jaw. Let's go the other way just to release any tension as we work deep into letting go within that left hip joint. Be gentle with your knee. Keeping the rhythm, keeping the flow. Now rocking the baby, foot in line with the knee. Stay there or go into a deeper stretch by supporting the knee and the foot into the crooks of the elbows and gently rocking from side to side. Small baby rocking movements. Loosening now into the left buttock and hip, and then little circling movements. And the opposite way. Holding it and then releasing and sitting tall into Dandasana again, and just checking in now through both hips, both knees, through the lower part of the body where we've moved the prana and the energy. Coming into Baddha Konasana, classical women's pose. Draw the feet up into the groin and sit for a few moments, just gently opening the hips. And let's do the chest opening variation, which is really safe for the sacrum. Roll the shoulders back, lift the hips, and take a deep breath into the frontal lungs, opening the belly, opening the chest, and just let the knees just do what they feel comfortable with. No forcing of the knees to the floor, being very gentle through the hip joints, through the pelvis. Open the legs wide apart into another classical women's pose, Upavista Konasana, just a comfortable width apart for you. Rolling the inner thighs up towards the ceiling so that we're really externally rotating from deep within the hip joint. And again, an opening variation. Hands behind, shoulders back, open the throat and breathe into the frontal chest. Good, and exhale. Interlace the hands, let's stretch the arms overhead. Continue that feeling of really lifting out of the hips as you press through the sitting bones, through the thigh bones into the ground. Good, and then circling, continuing that feeling of rhythm that we set up with the hips, circling the torso now, loosening the energy throughout the hips, throughout the lower back. Good, you can let the head roll and soften and flow with the circling and going the opposite way. Just making small circles or larger circles, whatever feels comfortable for you. Just keeping it fluid. Coming to the center now and just stretching passively. Bring the legs back together now, extending back into the home base, into Dandasana. And then we're going to internally rotate. So we're going to roll the thighs in and out, in and out, in and out. Just working the legs now in the opposite direction and holding it an internal rotation. Inner thighs spinning down and then releasing. Coming into cross-legged position now. Opening the front of the body like a cross-legged cat and then rounding the spine, tuck the chin in. Inhaling, opening the chest, shoulders back, open the throat. Exhaling, round the upper back, spread the shoulder blades, concave the spine. Good. Inhaling, opening the chest, shoulders back. Exhaling, concaving, collapsing the chest, just freeing up movement in the thoracic spine. Side bend now, moving out to the left and to the center and to the right and to the center. And the best breathing here is to inhale as we go out to the side and use your exhalation to draw your pelvic floor up and engage your core to draw you back to the center with control. So as you come back now, exhaling to center. Inhaling, slide out to the side, keep the opposite hip grounded into the floor, exhale to the center. Inhale, now raising up that left arm, holding it there, breathing open to the left ribs, into the left lungs. Relax that right shoulder and then coming up to center, and we'll stretch the other way, reach up and over with the right arm, opening up through the right ribs, sending the inhalation into the right rib cage, fanning open the lung space there. And then exhaling with control, come up to center. Dynamic twisting movements. We're going to twist around towards the left as you exhale. You're going to inhale up through the center and exhale, gently twist to the right, just waking up the spine now, twisting on its axis. Inhale, extending up through the crown of the head through the center. Exhaling, twisting around to the left. Good. Twisting as you exhale, inhaling back to center. And coming around and back to center. And inhaling to center. Cross the legs the other way just to balance the body. And we're again coming into that fluid torso circling movement here. You can have your hands on your womb space so that the movement is centering there from your belly, from your womb. And again, falling out breaths if that feels nice, just to release any deep held tension through the belly, through the pelvic floor, anywhere in the body, through the shoulders, through the jaw. And sitting quietly for a few moments. And then we'll tuck the ankles underneath yourself and then come forward onto all fours. That's one way. If that's not easy for you, then you're going to just bring your legs out to the side as a more easy variation to come to all fours. So in the all fours position with the hands shoulder distance apart and the knees hip distance apart, preparing for cat pose, cat-cow pose. As you inhale, begin to draw the shoulders back, open the heart center and tip the sitting bones up. And then as you exhale, reverse. Round the spine, hang the head, scoop the navel to the spine. Inhaling, shoulders back, chest coming through. Roll the sitting bones up to the ceiling. Exhale, round the tailbone under, scoop the belly, undulate the spine all the way to the base of the skull as you hang the head. Keep going with your breath. Inhaling, the cow stretch. And exhale, come into the cat stretch. Just synchronizing breath and movement to release energy, release prana through the whole spinal column now. Coming now into the sunbird pose. So as you inhale, raise the leg, the right knee, and as you exhale, draw the knee to the forehead. Inhale, raising the toes up to the ceiling, open the heart into the cow stretch with the spine, and exhale, tuck and round. Inhale, lift the back of the thigh, toes to the ceiling. Exhale, draw the knee to the forehead to the knee. Finding the rhythm with your breath and your movement. And step that foot forward now, all the way between the hands. Come into a dynamic lunging movement. We're going to exhale as we stretch the hips back and open the hamstrings, and inhaling as we lunge forward and lift the chest. Exhaling, move the sitting bones back, flex the toes towards you, and inhaling, coming forward. Just continuing to move the energy into the hip and into the back of the leg here. From this position, working on the hamstrings, moving the energy all the way up into the hips and the spine. Inhaling, lunging forward, and then step that foot back now and stretch the toes behind you to stretch the calf. And then swing the leg around the other leg and come into Pawanmuktasana, cow stretch. Extend the toes behind you, stretching the calf, and then wrap the leg around into pretzel cow pose, sitting bones moving back between the legs. Just finding your own rhythm with your breath, whatever feels good, doesn't really matter. You could exhale as you move the hips back here, and inhale as you extend the leg behind you, just whatever feels good, just keeping the breath rhythmic. Now step the right shin all the way forward for pigeon pose. You can slip something underneath the right buttock, like a ball like I have, or a bolster or a folded blanket, just to keep the sitting bones level. And then as you exhale, fold forward. Inhaling, lifting the heart center, hinging from the hips. Exhaling, folding forward, lengthening forward along that front leg, gently deepening the stretch through the right hip into the left psoas as well. Keep that left hip rolling to the floor. Hips are equidistant from the floor. Good. And then just holding it there. Wonderful women's pose for fertility and for increasing circulation through the pelvic area. Let's step that leg back now. Move your prop to the side and just rest into a child pose. Buttocks to the heels, forehead to the floor or onto the forearms. Just to completely let go. Soften and just be. And when you're ready, you're going to come back into all fours. So we're going to work the whole sequence on the other side. Sunbird with the left leg. Raise the leg as you inhale. As you exhale, round forehead to knee, knee to forehead. Inhaling, lifting through the back of the thigh. Can you keep the leg in line with the hip so it's not splaying out to the left? Inhaling, lifting, open the spine as well. Exhale, round the spine and tuck the knee. Good. Lifting up out of the shoulders. And then let's step that foot forward for the lunge variation. Lifting the chest. And exhale, shift the hips back to stretch the hamstrings on this side. Inhaling, lifting, lunging forward. Exhaling, moving the hips back and stretching the back of the leg. And holding it there. Let's bring that leg back now. Stretch the toes behind you and then wrap that leg around for Pawanmuktasana, feet on either side of the sit bones as the buttocks move back between the feet, and then unwrap and extend. And wrap, and again, whatever breathing pattern works for you. You might exhale as you move your hips back here, and inhale as you unwrap and extend and stretch the calf on that left leg. Stretching the hips here and then stretching the calf as you extend and push back through the heel. Coming into pigeon, bring the left knee forward and slide your support underneath the left sitting bone if you need to, so that the hips are level and you're not tipping into that left hip. You're balanced through the hips. Extend through the right leg, opening the whole front of the right groin and right thigh and hip flexor. Inhaling, lifting the spine, and exhaling, you're folding forward, bowing to the earth. Keeping the flow, keeping the movement of energy through the hips, through the spine here. Finding the fluidity, finding the flow and the ease, and then stretching passively. And then sliding that front leg back into all fours and again taking a rest into child pose. This time you might work with the classical child pose with the hands by the feet, the forehead to the mat, and surrender. Let the breath be natural and even. And rolling up through the spine when you're ready. Moving on to the next stage of Pawanmuktasana. We're going to come to sit onto a bolster or a cushion or a brick, straddling your bolster. Just allow yourself to become comfortable here. Settling the hips into the bolster, chest open, and just sit quietly for a few moments, checking in. Now we'll prepare to move the prana into the upper body with the wrists. Flexing the fingers down and up, and down and up. And you can work with the breath however you like. You can exhale fingers down, inhale fingers up, whatever feels good for you. Just connecting with the rhythm and flow of your breath and the movement. And now bring the palms up and we'll work with a lateral movement. Fingers in and out, a sideways movement through the wrist. In and out. Now wrapping the fingers around the thumbs, let's circle the wrists into full rotation now, mobilizing the energy, the prana in the wrist joints. And then the other way. Bring the palms up, and now as you exhale, touch the fingers to the shoulders. Inhale, extend the arms. We're moving the energy now up the arms into the elbows. Inhaling, exhale, touch the fingers to the shoulders. Inhale, extend. Exhale to the shoulders. Now moving into the shoulders, spread the chest, elbows back. Exhale, round the chest, elbows towards each other. Inhale, open the chest, open the throat. Exhale, round the upper back, spread the shoulder blades. Inhale, shoulder blades into the back ribs, open the heart center, and exhale, close off. So it's another kind of variation of cat. Now from here, we'll circle the elbows into as wide an arc as we can, getting full range of movement into the shoulder joint, into the shoulder girdle. Good, feeling all of those tight bits, those tense bits in the shoulders, releasing and letting go. Let's go the other way. Fully mobilizing the shoulder joints. And release the arms now. Bring the arms at a right angle position and we'll roll the palms back behind you and bring them forward. So now what we're actually doing is rotating the upper arm bone in its socket. Exhale, roll the palms down. Inhale, palms up. Exhale, down, and then releasing. Bring that left arm across the body and let's stretch the outer arm, the tricep muscle, pulling the forearm across. And then bring the elbow behind the head and stretch the tricep even more, pressing the head into the elbow, gently drawing the elbow up and back. And then releasing. On the other side, draw the right arm across the body, gently stretch the outer arm muscles there. And then bring that arm behind the head, gently drawing the elbow behind and up to the ceiling, pressing the head into the back of the arm. And releasing. Swinging the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, swing them behind you. Inhale, swing the arms up to the ceiling, stretching through the spine. And as you exhale, swing them behind as if you wanted to press the palms together behind the back to really open the shoulders. Inhale, extend. Exhale, shoulder blades towards each other, roll the shoulders back. Beautiful. Inhaling up. And exhaling, swinging behind, palms towards each other, opening the chest. And now clasp the hands behind the back, roll the shoulders back, backs of the knuckles facing to the wall behind you, and hold it there, opening into the front of the body, the front of the chest as we roll the shoulders back, squeeze the shoulder blades together. And send the breath into the frontal lungs as we lift the gaze, and then release the hands. Neck now. We're going to look up to the ceiling as we inhale. As we exhale, drop the chin towards the chest, but keep the chest lifted. Inhaling, gently stretching the throat. Feel space there still at the back of the neck. And exhale, slow, mindful, simple, but very profound movements, loosening tension through the neck, which also helps to quiet the nervous system. And looking over one shoulder, and then inhale to center, and then over the opposite shoulder, keeping that opposite shoulder drawing back so it's not coming with the head. And exhaling, looking over the shoulder, inhale to center, exhale slowly, consciously looking the other way, just gently increasing range of movement through the neck. And now ear to shoulder. Drop the left ear towards the left shoulder, reaching down through the left fingertips. Inhale to center. Exhale, right ear to right shoulder, gently stretching the trapezius muscles along the tops of the shoulders that get really tight. Exhaling, ear to shoulder. Again, the movements are really simple, but done mindfully. That's where the magic is. And let's hold it here for a static stretch, drawing the left ear to the shoulder and looking down towards the armpit and circling the right fingertips just to really release into that right shoulder. And then the other way, little small circles with the right fingertips like you were tracing a circle on the floor. And then let's slowly release and stretch the other side, looking down towards the right armpit, working the ear to the shoulder. Keep that left shoulder down and circle the fingers one way and then the other. And then releasing. That completes Pawanmuktasana. Let's finish by placing the right hand on the belly on the womb space, left hand on the heart center, and sitting quietly. Noticing how you're feeling in your body, your mind, your emotions. At the end of this practice, perhaps feeling the shift compared to the beginning. Hands at the heart center now into prayer. A gesture of prayer and honoring and gratitude. Namaste.